Bruce, what's happening, mate? You alright?
Matty boy, how we doing?
Could be better, mate. Could be better. Could have spent me Saturday morning lunchtime,
Tell me about it.
Anything but watching that, really.
Exactly. I think I've got more entertainment watching paint dry, to be honest.
Well, it's funny you say that, actually. Geordie Rick actually turned the game off after 10 minutes and went and painted his fence outside.
Oh, he did what I did.
He had the right idea.
Oh, he made a good choice, I reckon.
It wasn't too pretty. It was another game of 20-odd% possession and not many chances created and just surrendering the game, really, wasn't it?
It's just copy and paste again, isn't it? With the formation, the style of play. Like the way we set up is there's no purpose to what we do. We just sit back, let the team hammer us with shots. And there's no outlet. We're not trying to break out the wings. No creativity at all. I appreciate the same thing. I don't know how these pundits can keep watching it and saying doing a good job.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, I'm glad that Jake Humphries actually brought up the stats though before the game about the being 20th bottom of every stat. Really, he's saying that we're the worst in the league. He's saying it's not just bad; it is the worst in terms of chances created, opposition touches in their box, shots on target, chances against, all that kind of thing. It is that ugly.
It is. I mean, I think the only thing I can put it down to is because he's British. Because if it was a foreign manager, I reckon they would have got more scrutiny. Do you remember the Man City game where we lost 1-0 and Rafa made us play so defensive that night, and he got absolute pelters for playing that way. And Bruce is doing it every week, and he's escaping all criticism.
It's a good point. It is a good point. I think it's because Brucey, over his time as a player and his time as a journeyman manager, has built up this rapport, with them all, where he's everyone's best pal, gives out the pies and the bacon sarnies, so no one really says much.
This is it, exactly. He might be a nice guy, whatever, but unfortunately, his niceness is not getting us results. So, unfortunately, and that's the way you have to look at it. And he's a nice guy, everything. I'm sure he does have the club at heart, but the performances are not there. And he's not trying to buy those performances either.
Do you think he's crippling the likes of St. Maximin? Because we haven't seen the best of him in quite a few weeks now. However, we've seen the likes of Shaw and Sean Longstaff really deteriorating performances every week.
Big time. I think a lot of players have been held back because when you look at our transfer window, where we signed Fraser, Wilson, Jamal Lewis, these were players I was quite excited to see. And I thought, okay, we might have a chance of now attacking because the biggest problem was goals last season. But they're not being deployed to attack. It's just sit back, and then kick the ball out and hope for the best. Ackman needs balls fed into him. He needs more than 2 chances created a game. Same with Wilson. There's just not enough creativity for these players to prosper.
No, you're right, mate. I mean, you're totally right. I mean, we see that in the games with the way he sets out. Today, I mean, he looked like he was happy in the end with just getting beat 2-0, wasn't he, in the post-match interview? And that's embarrassing. And what's the point in playing for a game like that?
Especially at home. I mean, is that the kind of performance you want to show to your fans that can't even make it to the game? He's lucky the fans, to be honest, because
I was going to ask you that. It is lucky that the fans aren't there, isn't he?
Yeah, big time. I mean, even Almiron, I think, was it the first 4 games? He got 4 assists and 3 assists in 1 goal, and he was still sitting on the bench after that. And he kept getting a start. Why? And yet he goes that he's an admirer of Almiron, he's a great professional, but then you're not showing us that. It's the complete opposite.
Reckon there's any truth in Almiron's agent's comments about that he'd already be away if there wasn't a pandemic? Do you reckon he'll still be here next year?
I hope so. I don't think I'd listen to an agent. If it came from Miggy himself, then yeah. I think with an agent, they're always trying to get the better move, the bigger deal. So with that one, I'd kind of just let that be. I think it was right to call the agent out.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Frenzy, how this is going to change. Unless he can change the system and start actually playing to win games, it's just going to be the same thing every week. It is. I will go to Palace next week, and you'll take the 0-0 now, I reckon. Palace are a good side as well. They're not pushovers.
I watched them the other week against Leeds, and they were deadly going forward, to be fair.
And Leeds are a good side as well. We've got them coming up in the future. It's sad, isn't it? I bet you find it hard trying to come up with points to make every week for this show.
It's not easy. It's getting worse.
Repeat of every week.
All right, mate. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think we covered most of it, to be honest, man. Unless you've got anything to ask.
Nah, that's it, mate. I think that'll do for now. We'll maybe see you next week if it's a late Friday night one. I mean, going into Palace, are you confident that we can get anything though?
Yeah, I know. Again, it's how we set up. If we actually go to win the game, maybe we could sneak a 1-0 or something, but I'm not very confident, in all honesty.
That's it, and even saying that, just trying to sneak a 1-0 win, like, shows what level we're being brought down to at the minute.
Exactly. Hopefully Wilson's involved this time.
Hopefully.
That's something to look forward to, but other than that, it's just the same dross again.
All right. Well, cheers, mate. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Have a beer and try and forget it.
I certainly will, mate. I certainly will.
Cheers, man.
See you later.
Take care.